It is the 41st millennium. Mankind battles for survival across the universe, besieged on all fronts by the heretic, the mutant, and the alien. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. One faction of Space Marines stands amidst the chaos, the mightiest of the Emperor's warriors, and a beacon of light in the darkness. This legion, the 9th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, the Blood Angels.
Hello Daryl, hello Maximus, hey Fuck, hello, good evening everybody, how are you guys doing? I have a Citadel paint tray thing to look at tonight actually. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know, let me see.
I have awoken.
Marius, thank you so much. You were bored? Good evening, Marius. How's your oh, what is it you're building? You're building a stress tank. How's it getting on? Surely you can't be bored if you're halfway through a stress tank. I mean, if you're edge highlighting the stress, maybe you are bored. I don't know if you can tell behind me. Look at how neat stuff is. I have a whole shrine on the top shelf now for Blood Angels, right? Like I've got Death Company boxes. I've got all my trophies. I've got my toy. I've got Blood Quest. I've got the Sanguinius book. It's neat. This shelf has like lots of Warhammer stuff on it. It's neat. I got shelves put up opposite my painting table. Finally, finally. So I've got this paint tray that I'm gonna probably build. I already got one of these paint racks. I'm gonna build the other one. Get all those paints that are sitting there into it. And then things will be neat in this office. I have shelves all above me now. Obviously where you guys can't see. But maybe if people really want to see a tour of my room, I can do a tour of my room now because it's not a disaster. I actually used to have like tables and boxes that used to just sit here because there was no room in the room. So it was like there was boxes sitting here eating up all the space. There was boxes behind me eating up all the space. There was boxes over there eating up all the space. So, I'm feeling liberated. I'm feeling like clutter is down. So good evening chat, I'm in a good mood. I hope you guys are all in a good mood tonight. Hello, hello, hello. Hello Dwayne. This dress is really simple. I've not seen you in a few weeks, Marius. How are you? You well? I do actually have the scroll that Marius sent me right here. Look at this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I need to read it out in an epic YouTube video sometime, right? Said to be forged during the heresy by a captain of the Blood Angels Legion. Marius painted a model for me and he sent me a scroll to basically say that he was returning the sword that he painted for me. It's very cute. Good evening, good evening. So I'm in a great mood actually. So I've got a little bit of work to do in the Heavy Intercessors. I want to dry brush their bases. I want to just paint a final little bit on their backpacks here. Which is just this rim around the bottom of the backpack. And then last stream I cut out all the transfers. So I'm probably going to do a little bit of painting. Let the painting dry. I'll maybe make this painting station thing. And then I'll it was just a sword and arm. Yes, you returned me the sword, the Blood Angel sword, so thank you for that. But please leave a like on tonight's stream if you are so inclined. Daryl says he can't decide between working on Mephiston or Death Company Marines with jump packs. This is a tough one. Both would be good, right? I was going to say something about This week I think I'm going to try and work some on my Land Raider. Like when I finish these heavy intercessors, which arguably might be tonight. If it's not tonight, they're going to be super friggin' close. I think I want to work on my Land Raider next, or one of the 2 Land Raiders, because I keep using the Land Raiders in the battle reports every week. And they're both unpainted. Or, they're not unpainted, they're 3 colours, bare minimum, right? So, I feel like I should finish a Land Raider for a change. And this is why I need to build this painting thing, so I've got my other paints nice and easy to get by. Right, so I've got that, I need a dry brush. Everything's organised now. I'm gonna have to do a breakdown of the room so you guys can see it. That dry brush looks not too bad. This one looks a bit more knackered. I'll maybe use the more knackered one. It's just for the base. Yeah. Eternal Crusader, good evening. Greetings, brothers. Are aggressors still worth taking? If so, how many and what configuration, says Bad Bounces. I think if you're running Gladius, they're totally worth taking. Take them with bolters. And take them with an apothecary with fire discipline. If you're not running Gladius, I'm not so hot on them anymore. They've had points increases for a couple of patches now, right? I mean, they're not bad. They're not bad, but I kind of dropped them the second time. Usually that's what happens, is Games Workshop make a unit worse by increasing its points cost, and then usually when they make it worse a second time by increasing its points cost again, that's usually when I end up dropping the model. So yeah, when they increase the points cost for the second time, I think I did go to one tournament with them, but they feel really expensive. And maybe that's just because if you go back 6 months, they were 200 for 6. Now they're like 240 for 6, I think it is. Is it 220 or is it 240? Sure, it's 240 for 6 now. And like for me, that Gravis Marines die pretty quick, right? It's not like they've got invulnerable saves. So 6 guys for 240 with no invuns, especially when you get 6 Blade Guard with a 4-up invun for 180. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow. What's your opinion on the Blood Angels Vanguard detachment? I mean, I think the Vanguard detachment is fine. Like, I think it's a reasonably strong detachment, but I'm quite liking the Sons of Sanguinius detachment at the moment, personally. I've not played Vanguard myself. But, I mean, I'm familiar with some of the strats that people are using in Vanguard to get a lot of value out of it. But, since the Sons of Sanguinius got their update, like, was it about 2 months ago? I'm undefeated with them since they got their change to +2 strength. I know that there's probably still some downfalls in my list. Like, it's not a perfect list, and I know the Sons of Sanguinius detachment isn't perfect either, but I'm kind of okay with it. Like, I'm enjoying it. It feels much more Blood Angels than Gladius certainly feels, and I do enjoy playing Gladius. I think it's a strong detachment. I just don't know if it necessarily feels very Blood Angels, right? Gladius is really a shooting detachment with a sprinkle of melee on top, whereas the Sons of Sanguinius detachment really is a melee detachment with which you can sprinkle some shooting on top, and that's kind of how I've been running it. I think it's pretty decent. Darryl says, I need to know, is dropping points alone enough to fix the Sanguinary Guard? I keep thinking they're pretty bad regardless. I think that the problem is that Death Company are possibly just too good. And I guess that's a bigger problem in of itself, Darryl, because it might mean Death Company get nerfed in the future, because Death Company get to reroll all their hits and their wounds, sorry, not their wounds, all their hits in shooting, all their hits in melee, and they get to reroll their charges. And that's like 3 really important rerolls you've got baked into the Death Company profile. And because Death Company are 45 points cheaper, and they've got Power Fists, it's just like Death Company just have everything going for them compared to Sanguinary Guard. So it's possibly not even that Sanguinary Guard are that bad, it's just Death Company are too friggin' good. And we see it, right? Because there was a guy that was at a tournament a few weeks ago who had 7 Death Company units in his list, and I run 15 Death Company, and that's literally my only jump. It's my only jump attack squad, I guess, right? So, no, we see it. So Death Company are very good. We know Death Company are good. I guess the question is, are Sanguinary Guard necessarily bad? I mean, I think they are too expensive point-wise to be competitive. I think even if they drop their points a little bit, people would probably still run Death Company because Death Company are just objectively so good, right? Good evening, Reziel. What does everyone think about the new Tau? I saw that the Codex is leaked. I think some YouTube channels are covering it today as well. Like, they actually have the preview of the new Codex. I saw a little bit about Crisis Suits, but honestly, it's been a pretty busy day for me, Reziel, so I haven't looked into it. What do you think of, what are you thinking of new Tau? I was just saying, I put up some shelves in this room, which took forever. I had to move everything out of the room as well, so... But this room is like 100%, it feels like 100% bigger now. There's so much more space in this hobby room. So I've got room to buy more things. I don't feel like I'm cramped in here either anymore, which is really nice, because it's... I think this room has just been so full of stuff that it's felt cramped without me even realising how cramped it felt. Early thoughts are Tower really good now? Haven't read everything in depth, but skimming the rules, they look much better. I saw some people complaining about Crisis Suits. I did look at Crisis Suits. I did notice there was also a Crisis Suit detachment, or a detachment that's kind of focused around Crisis Suits, right? So, I'm not entirely sure why people think they're much better or much worse. I don't really have that many Tau players in my local meta, which is maybe a problem, so I don't get to play them very often. And the couple that I do have that I play against are not very serious / experienced players, I guess. But I had a look at the other night, Reziel. Was it Wednesday night when I was playing Death Guard? I had a look at like Art of War. Obviously, Art of War had it was kind of funny actually. Art of War had such a similar Death Guard list on, whereas like I played Colin, who had Mortarion, 20 Plague Marines, 2 Rhinos, and 2 Plague Burst Crawlers. And then the list on Art of War was like 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, so 1 more Plague Burst Crawler, 1 less Rhino, and 1 less squad of Plague Marines, but then Mortarion. And Mortarion, his aura at the moment is kind of insane actually. The aura shuts Space Marines down pretty hard, especially Blood Angels, right? Because it shuts down your -1 damage on your Lamartez led Death Company, which is horrific. It shuts down the ability to cast Armor of Contempt. It shut down the ability to cast Smokescreen. Like, Mortarion's aura in a castle right now is very, very strong. First time I played against it, actually. And I wasn't sure I was going to win, but I did win. Tau can have 27 suits now. The suits have less guns though, right, Pedro? One gun per suit is not horrible. Wizywig is annoying. 1 gun per suit. They used to be able to get 3 guns per suit though, right? Or you mean 1 type of gun per suit? But yeah, I was interested to see actually how Art of War's Blood Angels list would actually manage to take on that Death Guard list, because I thought that Death Guard list with the double Foul Blight spawn is kind of horrific for Blood Angels to deal with, right? Like, Plague Marines attached by both a Foul Blight spawn and what's the name of the other character? A Biologist Putrefier, I think is the name of the character. They have a 5-up lethal hits in shooting and in melee. They kind of eat toughness 4 Marines for breakfast, because actually toughness 4 Marines against them become toughness 3, and then you get the one worst point of your armor save. So it's like, that Death Guard matchup for a melee Blood Angels force is actually kind of horrific. And looking at Art of War's list for, I mean, he was playing Gladius as well, which was interesting. So Gladius is arguably a little bit more shooty than Sons of Sanguinius, but like, I'll tell you, I must admit, I did not like Art of War's list for Blood Angels this week. I think that, I mean, I just not a huge fan of the list in general, but I think playing that list into Death Guard, like, I thought my list was difficult to deal with into Death Guard, but at least I had a bunch of survivable tanks and stuff that can at least hang on, I guess. In my opinion, the Death Guard lists are easier for Blood Angels than Custodes. Well, then I guess the Blood Angels list on Art of War just struggled, man. They got beat by, like, I think it was 75-60. I'm kind of off Bolter and Scepters, honestly. I don't think Bolter and Scepters do enough damage, or... I don't mind Plasma and Scepters, but Bolter and Scepters, they're really not my favourite thing anymore. They were good for a hot minute. I did enjoy playing them. I think it was 8th edition I really enjoyed playing Bolter and Scepters. But ever since the fixed point cost, I think that's probably what killed the Bolter and Scepters, is the fixed points cost, right? So is anyone working on any hobby tonight? What are you guys working on? What's everyone doing this Saturday night? Anything fun? And what's everyone's thoughts on the new Blood Angels rumours that are circling? New units, new box set. It's literally all Valrak's been talking about this week. Bad Francis is Kit Bash in the Librarian Dreadnought. You know what? I've got my Kit Bash Librarian Dreadnought, who's been lying half finished now for far too long. I was thinking I should have a week where I do nothing except stream painting every night for the entire week, and try and get like something else finished. I'll probably finish these heavy intercessors tonight. PGS says he's working on my first BV dude. So what's BV? Blade Guard Veterans? Yeah, I have drawers of half-finished models. It's ridiculous. I was half thinking about going back and finishing the 6 Outriders that I've got that are half-finished, but I think I'm honestly going to maybe go and finish one of my Land Raiders next. Marius says the stream has kicked his butt. He's now got his paints out. Good for you, Marius. I'm always impressed with what I see on your Twitter, dude, so I think you probably paint like 5 times more than I do, right? I could paint a lot more, but then I wouldn't have the time to make all the YouTube videos. So it's kind of a rock and a hard place for me. But it's a good thing because it keeps me focused on the Blood Angels, and they're my real passion, I guess. Hey, thank you so much for... Oh, my alert didn't come up. I heard it. Didn't see it though. What the hell? Why would that not have come up? Did anyone see that alert or did we just hear it? Oh. Weird. Weird. I haven't fully set up YouTube yet, so that might be an alert for... I mean, it could have been a new subscriber to the 3 grots, actually. It didn't come up on stream. Oops. I'll need to fix that. I know how to turn it off for alerts for my other, because I've got some other scenes on this computer. But yeah, when I formatted, I had to format because my... Well, no, I didn't really format, did I? My primary C drive failed. So I had to replace my C drive. So I had to reinstall. I had to get a warranty replacement. I had to reinstall Windows. So I guess I'm pretty sure that would have been an alert for the 3 grots. There was like a new subscriber on my other channel, so I'll fix that for next time. Oops. I figured there was going to be some teething things. Hey, Starters Party, how you doing? What do you think about metallics and wet palettes? I believe that if I gave any advice on a wet palette, Tony would probably shoot me, Marius, because Tony's always making fun of me still not using my wet palette that I bought probably like a year ago at this point. So I think you're not supposed to use metallics on the wet palette because the flakes get through it. But I must admit my wet palette is still in its box. Like, it would be different if I was painting, if I had time to paint every evening, but I really don't. Because what I do is Monday, Tuesday night is when I work on my Friday tactics video, and that usually takes a lot of time, right? My kids go to bed at somewhere between 7:30 and 8, and I sort of call time at like 11 o'clock. Like, I don't really like I already work 9 hours a day at a day job. I really don't like working beyond 11 o'clock at night when I've already worked 9 hours a day at the day job. So I do that on Mondays and Tuesdays every week. So like, that's Mondays and Tuesdays 8 till 11. That's when I work on the video that comes out every Friday. Sometimes it's quicker, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes I'm literally grinding with it to the last minute. I try and finish by 11 o'clock, but sometimes I go past. And then Wednesday night I play the battle report, and then Thursday night I usually film from the grots, and then Saturdays are like weekends with the kids. So like, that's why the only time I could paint more, I guess, would be to have a week where I didn't put out a Friday video, I didn't play a live battle, and I just painted the whole week. And I've thought about that a couple of times, call it like a paint-a-thon or something, and just be live every night for the whole week just painting. But I think it would get less views in the videos because people want to see the tactics videos, so that's why I haven't done it. And that's why I don't use my wet palette, because I literally paint like once a week, because every other night I'm actually working. But see, when you do something like that long term, this is a weird thing, right? So like, I've been doing almost 4 years now. August it'll be 4 years. I've spent, like, that's my, like, Blood Angels Commander is like my thing, so I spend that time every week working on it. And sometimes if I finish early, I kind of feel weird. Like, let's say I spend Monday night making all my slides for my video, and everything goes perfect on Tuesday night. I don't need to reshoot anything. I don't mumble my words. All my takes go perfect, and I film my whole video, and it's like 10:30, and it's like like I said, like I usually work till 11. If I finish everything at 10:30, I kind of feel guilty. It's weird. Like a thing where it's like, oh, I should still be working, but I've finished. Humans, we're strange creatures, aren't we? Evening, Matthew, how you doing? Clint said he enjoyed the strategy video. I'm glad, Clint. I thought the stratagem video would actually perform better than it did. But I think I'm not worried it didn't perform that well. I think people that want information on what stratagems to use will get a lot of value out of it. Some of you guys obviously don't need to watch the stratagem video, or some of you guys are very clued up on stratagems, but you know, it was a request from my Discord, so someone was desperate to see what stratagems I use and when and how to use them to. And I guess if you're struggling to get wins, then I think it would be pretty useful. Thoughts on Hellblasters? Hellblasters are fine. There's some quirky stuff you can do with them, like put them in an impulsor, and then when you shoot them out with the impulsor, you can take them, if you get any hazardous fails, you can take the mortal wounds on the impulsor. I mean, there's nothing wrong with plasma weaponry. I guess before Inceptors went up in price, I'd probably say to you, you'd probably be better off going with Inceptors over Hellblasters, but Inceptors did just get like quite a big points hike, like almost 20%, right? Campbell says, any thoughts on how best to use the Libby Dread? I mean, I think the Libby Dread works best in a Gladius list, right, Campbell? Like, it's going to work best in units that could just be put somewhere and shoot something. Because that's the most reliable way of using it. I do actually have some slides on a battle that I played at a GT with the Libby Dread. But the slides that I was going to make are basically justifying me not running the Libby Dread anymore, because while he's good, you will fail those 2-up teleports, and when you fail them,
I have awoken.
They can be pretty horrific. Greg, thank you so much for becoming a battle brother. I appreciate it. I really do. Where are we on memberships this month? Do you know what? Last month I only did 2 memberships the whole month for some reason. I don't know why. I guess people were maybe surviving after January. January is always a crap month for having any money left, because everybody spent all their January paycheck in Christmas, right? So like, February was a crap month. So 8 memberships already this month. We're only on the 15th. Thank you so much, Greg. My football team, I know that we don't really care too much about football on the channel, but every year my football team puts a football strip on sale, like in the middle of January. Like a special limited edition strip. And every year when they do it now, I post on their Facebook and tell them, like, why the hell does this strip go on sale in the middle of January when nobody has any money? Like, someone was in the comments like, oh, if they do it every year, you should prepare yourself for it happening in January. And I was like, yeah, but that's not the point. Like, that's not the point I'm making. I never, even if I tried to prepare myself for January, probably something would come up with the kids and I'd have no money. So don't put your damn football strips, your really cool football strips, on sale in January. Happens. So yeah, maybe February's a bad month for Warhammer players. Maybe they all bought all their Warhammer stuff at Christmas time, January, stuff like that. I'm be so happy to finish these heavy intercessors. I've spent so friggin' long on these guys. I like using a librarian with multiple 5-man units and some 3-man eradicators too. Yeah, I do like the Librarian Dreadnought. I do like him, right? Like, he's really powerful. There's so many shenanigans you get to do with him, you know, like plopping units on the backfield objectives and units into obnoxious positions early in the game, or moving units around in the late game for stuff like, what's that one that's always difficult to score? Investigate signals. So Librarian Dreadnought is amazing, but he does have that giant weakness, which is you cannot reroll psychic tests. And I guess that came up to bite me so bad in that tournament that like I guess he became dead to me because he failed. Every year I think about just getting a generic football strip with the team's name on it. I bought some football strips for my kids, man. 3-year-old football strip and a 5-year-old football strip, because this summer is the European Championships and Scotland have qualified for like the first time in ages. So I bought some football strips for my kids, but I bought like unofficial ones because the official ones are $50 each, man. Like, they're always talking about like cost of living crisis. I'm like, cost of living crisis? A football strip for a 3-year-old is $50. Like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. So I bought unofficial ones that were like $14.99 each. My kids won't know any better, but I just thought it was ridiculous that that's how much they're charging for the official strips. Scotland are playing the first game at the European Championships this year. We've got Germany are the hosts, and the very first game is Scotland-Germany. So hope you guys, if you're going to watch the European Championships, I think it's like the middle of June. Biggest football tournament of the year outside the World Cup, I guess. You got to be supporting Scotland. You got to be repping some Blood Angels Commander Scotland gear. I hope the new models bring some new data sheets. I feel the Death Company models, the loadout will change. The idea of Power Fists and Infernal Pistols will be gone. Yeah, I think that the new data sheets will bring some new weapon options. I don't know if that's going to be a good or bad thing for us, Clint. We're just going to have to kind of wait and see, aren't we? There's been so many rumours this last month or two now about new Blood Angels stuff. It's just relentless. It's like every time I open up YouTube, someone's saying that, you know, like, John, what's your opinions on new models? And I was like, well, I don't know anything. I don't know any more than you guys. Games Workshop don't tell me anything. Do I want some new models? Sure. Do I want them to invalidate a ton of my old ones? Not so much. So we already had that happen a couple of times this edition, and it kind of sucks when it happens. Almarto says it's a cool video, even I stay Gladius. You don't... I think that the change to the Sons of Sanguinius detachment has made it that you don't need to stay Gladius anymore. Before the change, I was Gladius 100% of the time. I think it's probably okay to run the Sons of Sanguinius right now. I think they're fine. I don't know if I would necessarily say they're strong. I would say I think they're fine. It's going to be interesting to see the change Tau will bring, as they'll not be hiding for 2 to 3 turns. Yeah, they returned the... I forget the name of the other detachment. They got the Montcat and the Kion. Is it the Kion that are back, or is it the Montcat that are back? I forget which one they didn't have. So Tau might be coming a bit earlier for you, I guess. I can't decide if what's worse, because I think when they get all those sustained hits in turns 3 through 5, it's usually pretty brutal. Or at least my experience of it has been pretty brutal. Like, I've been brutalized by Tau a few times. Eternal Crusader says he's hoping that we'll get a roadmap next week. Why do you think we're getting a roadmap next week? What have I missed? Like I said, I've had a pretty busy day. I haven't really been keeping up with the Warhammer community. Have they announced the next roadmap? Fraser said, what is the change to the Sons of Sanguinius detachment? I've been at the hobby loop for a little while and I'm starting to think about my Blood Angels army. They changed it so on the charge or when you heroic intervene, you get +2 strength. So Chainswords become strength 6, Blade Guard becomes strength 7, Death Company with Power Fists typically becomes strength 10. It hits a lot more breakpoints, right? Because before Death Company with with Power Fists were strength 9. Strength 9 isn't that great in 10th edition. There's a lot of armor running around with toughness 10, so you'd still only wound on 5s, but with +2 strength, you probably wound on 4s. And then you can play... What's the name of the stratagem? You can play... Red Rampage to get lethal hits. So auto wounds on 6s. And then +1 to wound as well. So basically what would happen before was Death Company would typically only ever wound armor on 4s, which is pretty bad, even with stratagem play. Now with the stratagem play they can probably wound them on 3s because Death Company have reroll hits and +1 attacks. You can basically have like 40 attacks, hitting on 3s, re-rolling everything, and then wounding on 3s, and you've got lethal hits in there as well, and you've got Lamartas on top. I've been having a lot of success, I think, with the new detachment. I'm undefeated. I've won six. I think it's 6 games in a row now. I might need to get a new pot of this paint. Wow. It is not been used in a while, probably a year. Don't judge me. Adepticon will probably release the next roadmap, says Sir Raid. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so that's next weekend, says Robert. Wow, that paint's disgusting. I mean, it's a dry paint, so it's supposed to be a bit dry anyway. Right. But yeah, it's pretty congealed in there. So it's definitely an old pot. That pot's probably like 5 years old at this point, maybe. You don't use that much dry paint when you're just like, I think I only use Tyrant Skull for putting like a little dry brush on the base here and there. It was subtle, to say the least. Let's see what the difference is between the two of them. Super subtle, right? The army I've struggled with the most is Orcs. Last week in my league I had a 94 to 21 victory. The secondaries were just falling into place. You had a 91 to 24 of what, playing against Orcs, or? You know, like I've got a friend that plays Orcs, and I fought Orcs a lot in 9th, but I must admit I fought all manner of Orcs in 9th, actually. I fought like all their transport, their rucka trucks, all that sort of nonsense. The mecha dragsters. There was the squigs that did the mortal wounds on charges with the headbutts. But yeah, I must admit, I've not really had many games against Orcs. I haven't really seen them at the tournaments that I've been at either. Didn't think you were going to win on Wednesday. Neither did I, Robert. I think that list, that Death Guard list, is a huge counter to Blood Angels, right? Like the fact that they can, 2 of their most deadly melee units that have, what is it, like lethals on 5s, are, you can't charge them, right? Because they fight first. And I bet you if you mathed it out, they'll kill a horrific amount of them. Like if you charge them with a Death Company, they probably kill the whole Death Company. I mean, maybe you could spend 2 CP to fight on death, but I mean, like, you really don't want to be sacrificing your Death Company to kill a squad of Plague Marines, right? Like, that's not a good trade, I feel like. So yeah, I thought I was going to really struggle as well, and Mortarion is obnoxious. Like, the fact you can just ignore, like, all your rules. felt quite obnoxious, I guess. See, I thought when we lined up I would do... Yeah, I didn't think I was going to win. Colin's wanting a rematch this week, and I think it's probably a good match to have a rematch for, because that's a tough list for Blood Angels to deal with. I think when playing Blood Angels Sons of Sanguinius seems like the best we can do. It's a tricky playstyle and a lot of matchups. That's why I'm still running a bunch of tanks, I guess. Because I still think that we need some sort of... I mean, you could do dreadnoughts, I guess, if you wanted, but tanks... Having 2 Land Raiders on the board lets me protect all my toughness 4 infantry for 2 turns, basically. Because I'm gonna probably start like a squad of Death Company in reserve. So it means like a bunch of my infantry is just going to be protected, and I think there's a lot of value in that, because we know Sons of Sanguinius don't struggle to kill things; they struggle to live. I feel like. So if you struggle to live, then I guess put them in a transport, right? Would be Seth good against orcs? I mean, Seth's pretty good all round at this moment. He's the only Blood Angels character with a 3 damage weapon, right? So I do think Seth is quite good right now. The fight first to the Plague Marine unit is tied to the Foul Blight spawn. Yeah, I know. Of course it is, but I mean, my list doesn't really have many things to deal with Foul Blight spawn. Like, how are you dealing with it, Rezio? Like, I'm not going to be able to shoot it. Like, I don't have any snipers or anything like that, so... I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place. Like, I just can't charge those units, really. Unless I'm missing something, some magical thing that you know that maybe... Enlighten me. Is there something I could be doing that I'm not doing? Do you think that Astraeus could be competitive, or is it just for meme lists? I actually think it was kind of somewhat competitive last edition, so it might become competitive again. But right now, I think it lost, like last edition, I don't know if you played it, you knew its rules last edition, Marius, but last edition it had 2 shields that basically, like, if the shields weren't destroyed, they fully regenerated each turn, and it had more wounds and a lot of toughness, so it was like, I actually think it was quite good last edition. And the accelerator cannon was really good last edition because it was really high strength. Obviously with armor getting everything pushed up and stuff, like, it's not quite as good as it was. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a meme list. Like, I'm not going to say you couldn't do reasonably well with one. Didn't someone, like, get pretty high in one of the big events running 2 Astraeuses? Like, I think someone ran it in Iron Storm? Like, I'm sure I read somewhere, or I think they were talking about it in Discord, like, someone ran 2 of them in Iron Storm. I feel like that was 10th edition. Yeah, because Iron Storm didn't exist in 9th edition, so it must have been. So someone was running, like, 2 of them. But I do think the Astraeus was better last edition. I don't necessarily know if that means you can't play it. I mean, if you've got Tech Marine and you screen it, and you're playing it in a detachment like Iron Storm, where you've got like the lethal hits and that you can change one of your saves straight into 6 or something like that. Or is it Iron Storm you can change one of the incoming damages to 0? I think that's what it is, not changing the save to 6. I think that's Firestorm, sorry. I think it's probably decent. Peter says, Bloody Angels Commander, howdy. Righty question. What wash do you use for your base before dry brushing? Peter, for the future, so I don't miss your question, if you click in the chat box, as a member you get a free super chat every month. You can click the button that looks like a $sign and use your super chat for free, and it would have bounced up, and unfortunately I can see it here, but if I ever miss a question in the future and you really want to answer it, use your free super chat, and then I'll definitely not miss it. I do my bases in 3 stages. I start with Armageddon and Dust. I then obviously let that dry because that's thick texture paint. Then I'll wash Agrax Earthshade. Again, pretty liberal with that, let it dry. And then the final stage for my bases is now I'm using Tyrant Skull to just pick out like tiny little bits. It's super subtle. It's just going to give that sand sort of texture, like a little bit of colour on the top of it, I guess. I also, because I like to have my guys very clean, if when I'm dry brushing their feet, I end up dry brushing it onto their feet, I actually go back and clean that up. I know some people can do like a really nice effect where they just dry brush around the feet, and if the feet get all like, they get texture paint on them and stuff like that, they're quite happy with that. I guess I'm not. I guess my shit has to be cleaner for some reason. I think it was just when I first started painting, everything was very clean. So now I just do everything very clean. That answers your question, Peter. I think in terms of 10th edition, a lot of us might need to get more precision here and there. Yeah, but how do Marines do precision, Rizio? Like, eliminators? You're gonna need a lot of eliminators to kill, like, the foul blight spawn. You're not even gonna have time, actually, because he's gonna keep them in his rhino until he can make the charge, and then he's gonna disembark them and try and charge you. So even if you had, like, 3 squads of eliminators and they're perfectly positioned, the chances of that... There we go, Peter. Yeah, you figured it out. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, your free super chat every month. Feel free to make sure you use it. Thank you for 21 months of membership, dude. That's awesome. Much appreciated. Yeah, I mean, even if you had 3 squads of eliminators and they're perfectly positioned, the Plague Marines are probably going to disembark the Rhino, move, charge. I suppose you're then going to rely on the eliminators to kill them. So you can charge them. That's like super risky, right? So you're gonna have to shoot them and be like, these eliminators have to kill this thing, because if they don't kill it, then my squad's basically sat in front of it like just like a sacrifice, right? Because you know the Plague Marines will charge your squad and kill them. It was a very weird situation this week, actually, in the battle against the Death Guard, actually, about fight first, because my Blade Guard had fight first and his Plague Marines had fight first. So what ended up happening was the Blade Guard and the Plague Marines were real close to each other, but they basically both ignored each other, because both squads have a... Like, if he charges me, I'm fighting first. If I charge him, he's fighting first. So the Blade Guard and the Plague Marines, although they were like right next to each other on the table, they actually never engaged with each other, because it would have been a bad situation for us both, I guess, to make that first charge, which is a weird... So I guess it's a weird way that the game... Yeah, I don't know how you explain that. It just felt weird, where it was like, okay, I've got my Blade Guard right near the Plague Marines, but I can't engage. He's got his Plague Marines real near my Blade Guard, but he can't engage. I mean, it definitely shows the value of the Judiciary. You know, I was thinking a few weeks ago, like, is a captain better with a Blade Guard? Is a lieutenant better with a Blade Guard? Lieutenant gives you fallback and charge. That's really useful. But, I mean, just the Judiciary, just a threat of charging, right? The Sanguinar doesn't have precision, but you can pay 1 CP to give him precision, I guess, right? The Lamarta's unit with a fight on death has 0 problems. Yeah, the problem I have with that, Reziel, is that you'll lose... Yeah, the fight on death unit will mop them up, but what are you losing, right? How many of your death company are you losing if you charge those Plague Marines? I would reckon you're losing... It would be interesting to know, but I would reckon you'd lose at least maybe like 7 or 8 of them. I guess for the most part, I'm not willing to lose 7 or 8 Death Company into a squad of Plague Marines. I mean, it'd be different if all Death Company could hit them with all their Infernal Pistols first. That might be the saving grace there, actually. If you manage to get the 10-man Death Company to maybe like actually throw a grenade and then shoot 10 Infernal Pistols, I could get on board with that, maybe. You can always pop Armor of Contempt if you really want. I mean, the -1 damage probably helps a little bit, but the heavy bubotic weapons are 3 damage, are they not? And then the Plague Knives are 1 damage, so -1 damage, it's a kind of a bad matchup for -1 damage. Maybe I'm over, I was gonna say, maybe I'm overestimating those Plague Marines, but they do seem, I mean, they're killing a Land Raider. Yeah, I haven't run that many games against Custodes either this edition, honestly. No one was running Custodes for the longest time. I guess people are back running them now. Realised this is kind of badly positioned for the chat. I think the next thing to do then is a tiny little wash on these vents, and then I'm honestly at the point where I've cut out all the transfers for these guys, so I'm going to do the transfers, or I'm going to do the wash on the vents. I'll let that dry. I'm going to build this new painting thing, and then I'm going to do the transfers, and then I'm calling these guys done. I've spent long enough on them. They're definitely battle ready. Definitely battle ready. Yeah, our chat box is in a bad position now. But I just reset everything in this room, right? I don't think you were here at the beginning of the stream, Mike. I've got some shelves put up this week in the room. So I've got like a lot more space in this room now, which is nice for sure. I think I can add a color correction and just make the chat a bit opaque. There we go. You like that? You know what, the chat should have probably been opaque for ages. There we go. Yeah, it's funny. So I got new shelves put up in the room. So basically, after I had to dismantle my whole PC for the first time in forever to put the new hard drive in, then like a week later, I had to dismantle the whole PC again to put these new shelves up. So I figured I might do a video where like do a room tour now that the room isn't an absolute disaster. Probably the first time it's not been a disaster since I moved into the house. But we'll see. We'll see. Green Silent Phoenix, how are you? It's been a while since I've seen you on a Saturday night. You well? I've built like a little shrine behind me now on the top shelf. I was saying at the start of the stream, like, got all my Blood Angel stuff up there. I've managed to move everything around because I got some new shelving put up in this room. So, thank God, I guess. This room has been a unmitigated I used to have like boxes just sat here, filling up the floor space and stuff. So, I actually feel like I've got a bit of a decent workstation for the first time in forever. Antonius, good evening, how are you? So on the stream last Saturday, loads of people were like, John, you need to go see the new Dune movie. Like, everyone was telling me, right? Like, go see the new Dune movie, go see the new Dune movie. I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to go see the Dune movie because kids and babysitting, and it's a nightmare logistically. So probably what I'll do is I'll try and buy the new movie on like 4K or something. And I went on after the stream to look for like the new Dune movie, like when's it coming out, when you're going to be able to buy it on disc. And some of the places were already sold out. I was like, what do you mean they're already sold out? Like, it's not even in the theaters. The friggin' the DVD, the 4K DVD is already sold out? Like, okay. I mean, I liked the first movie. I think I only watched it once. I mean, I did buy the DVD. I guess I want to watch it again. I didn't realize that the second movie was going to be like, oh, if you want it, it's sold out before it even hits the theaters. That's crazy, man. Antonio says he feels the shelves that I have above me now, man. I can probably show you. I can probably rotate this camera and show you how much stuff is on these shelves above me. It's ridiculous. I don't even know how all this stuff was in this room before, right? If that makes sense. Because like everything that was on those shelves was in those room, and I've added like 3 giant shelves. Absolutely giant shelves. So where all this stuff was in the room, I don't know. I'll show you. How will I do this? Yeah, here we go. Will it work? Will it work? This might look a bit weird. I'd have to undo this. Can I do it? Yeah, come on. So like, I was gonna say you're not gonna get the context of how much stuff is on these shelves. Oh, you look, you can see. So this is like 3 shelves, each with like, oh, look how many friggin' Blood Bowl, Star Wars Legion, X-Wing, 40k stuff. I got my speakers up there, so they're not on my desk taking up space. There's more Legion stuff. Look there, Quake, Diablo. That's Star Wars Imperial Assault. That's D&D board games over there. Like, all this stuff was somehow in this room before. I don't know how it was all in here before, honestly. But it was. All of it. we're back. So the shelving behind me now isn't an actual disaster anymore. You need to sell a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I know. I've got stuff from like 20 years that I'm never gonna get to. Let me see if we can see behind me. So down there's all the 40k stuff. Let me see if I move. Which way does my chair need to come? This way. So down there I've got like collector's editions for more games, the green screens on the ground, all the 40k boxes. That shelf's now clean with just paints on it. The shelf above is like my Blood Angel shrine with my medals and stuff from GTs and RTTs and all that sort of stuff. And then over on the other side here, look, we've got collector's editions, Hero Quest, Battlestar Galactica, Imperial Assault. Like, I've still got stuff on top of all the shelf up there. That's my gimbal for filming. And there is more shelves over at the doorway. And there's boxes there. You see those boxes with the trays? There's boxes under the desks actually still that have stuff in them. It's ridiculous. This is why I think it's good that I've got the Blood Angels channel, because the Blood Angels channel keeps me focused. Otherwise I just have no direction. I've got all this stuff and I honestly don't know what I'm doing with it, honestly. I bought Star Wars Legion. I must have not played Star Wars Legion since before I started the Blood Angels channel, honestly. All the CNC games went on sale for like £7. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I think that's cool. I like the old CNC games. I haven't played a CNC game in a long time, but I did like the old games. That's a proper office. It feels like an office now because it feels like I can work in here and not feel like how do you put it, like cramped, constricted. I don't know, it feels like I can actually do work in here now. But there is still boxes under that desk. There's still boxes there. There's still boxes in the corner. Everything goes all the way to the room. It is organised. It took me like 3 days to organise it. But what's funny is those 3 shelves are like, they're almost 3 meters long. They're like 2 meters 60 or something, and they are each 35 centimeters deep. So if you put that together, that's like 9 square meters of stuff. No, is it 9? Yeah, 3 by 3. So maybe it's like 6 square meters of stuff. All that stuff was in here before, taking up so much space. Yeah, I should do a room tour video because I've got some really cool games that I never even get to play. Oh yeah, and look, I can even put my hobby knife up high so it's away from my kids now. Super glue can be up high. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna make this thing while the paint... You know what, I should have done the wash first before I decided to make this. That's what I said I was gonna do. I'm an idiot. Okay. Got excited about showing you guys my hobby tour. Well, I don't have a lock on the door, but I have a stair gate. So this is the only room that's like blocked by the stair gate, I guess. So my kids have to stay the other side of the stair gate. So, Is this a paint rack? Yeah, I've got one just off screen. So I was gonna make this other paint rack so it could sit over there. Then all 20 odd so paint racks, or all 20 so Citadel paints that I use, could get moved onto the rack. So then it'll be just everything will be coming together. I was also wanting to buy a backlight for the monitor because I think those monitor backlights are pretty cool. Like, they just, like, if you're ever working late in an evening and the monitor has like a light on the back of it, it can really help with eye strain. So I was gonna get that. I don't share my screen very often, but if you ever in some of my YouTube videos, you'll probably notice that You might have noticed this. You might not have noticed it. If you haven't noticed it, go back and watch some of my YouTube videos and you'll probably notice it straight away. Some of my videos, any video where you see my desktop, or any video where I'm like sat and like I've got my desktop projected behind me, you might notice the desktop looks a bit more yellow than your desktop. Because I run some software on my computer that makes everything in the computer more yellow. Because yellow can filter blue light. I used to get a lot of headaches, and it took me forever to figure out what my headaches were coming from. And one of the things I tried was, like, you see people with yellow glasses, right? Where yellow lenses will filter the blue light. So I actually have a pair of glasses that I sometimes use when I'm video gaming. Not that I do all that much video gaming, but they're actually, I've got them right here. They're like bright yellow, right? Yeah, Flux is the program I use, yeah. So these are like my yellow ones, right? So they're like way more yellow. But here's the interesting thing, right? This is the most interesting thing. If you wear the yellow glasses long enough, your brain will filter the yellow so you do not even know that you're wearing the yellow. And I know that's true because I walked into the room one time wearing these glasses, and these yellow ones have wraparound lenses, and the wraparound lenses mean that it's hard to see the edge of the. You actually can't really see the edge, right? Because they're more like a cycling. They are actually a cycling. They're a pair of cycling glasses. They're made by oh, I know the brand. It's like a sports brand. Oakley. They're Oakley glasses, right? They're Oakley cycling glasses with prescription lenses in them that are tainted yellow. So they're really like flush to my face and you can't see the lenses. So if you've got them on, you don't see them. I walked into the room one time, said to my wife, I was like, have you seen my yellow glasses anywhere? Because I've been looking for them for ages and I can't find them. And she's like, yeah, you're wearing them. I was like, oh. Okay. So yeah, I run Flux. It's f.lux on my computer. That's the name of the software, and it'll make your whole screen more yellow, and you can adjust it by the time of the day, and it's super sick. I like it a lot. I use it all the time. Like, I literally have it on my computer at home, I have it on my computer at work. So I even use that plus yellow glasses, so I'm getting like double yellow. But apparently, here's a thing you probably didn't know. They did an experiment. I don't know where they did this experiment, but they did an experiment where somebody, because apparently when light hits your eyes, it gets flipped or something. So when it actually comes to your brain, it's upside down. And your brain flips it the right way up. There's something mad like that, right? Oh, I pay for Flux. It's fine. I also play for like a dark mode extension plugin for Chrome as well. Because, yeah, my eyes. Apple does the same yellowing on its iPhones as well. You're right. They call it night mode. They did this experiment apparently where they gave people glasses that flipped everything up 180, right? So basically they gave them glasses that made everything go upside down, and they told people to wear them for, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months or whatever. And then after an indeterminate amount of time, the people that were wearing the glasses that flipped everything upside down, their brains just fixed it. The brain just compensated and just went, oh, everything's upside down. It's been upside down now for a few months. Let's just fix it. So the brain just compensated for glasses that flip it upside down. So it's pretty crazy because, yeah, I've had a few times where I've been wearing my yellow glasses and I've been looking for my yellow glasses. So you can't even tell. Dark mode everything. Yeah, there's a plugin mic called Night Eye, and it'll dark mode everything. Like, it'll dark mode your Google Docs, it'll dark mode your Chrome, it'll just dark mode everything. Any browser window, any website, it just basically inverts the colors, so anything that's white goes black. So it means, like, you know, if you're doing a Google Doc, or if you're doing a Google Doc and you were like highlighting a cell like bright yellow, what you have to do is highlight it with the weakest yellow, and it's really bright because it just inverts everything. But it doesn't take you long to get used to it. It's pretty cool. So I like all those eye monitor things. 100% dark mode is better for your eyes. Yeah. Well, it's just less strain, isn't it? And for me, I guess if I don't have that, I sometimes get headaches. It feels like ages since I've actually painted on a Saturday night, so it's good to be back. And I actually have my first ever sponsorship video this week as well, so that should be cool. So when I film this week's tactics video, there'll be like a minute inside it where I'm like, this video is sponsored by ta-da. So I'm doing that for the first time ever this week. It's only taken me like 4 years for someone actually reached out to me and asked if they could do a sponsored video for me. So I was like, sure. That sounds like it could be interesting. Who are you sponsored by? Into the AM. The same person that's sponsoring Squidmar in some of his recent videos, actually. So I'm in the company of greatness, because I assume people know Squidmar. He's pretty cool, right? It wasn't Raid Shadow Legends. No, Robert, it was not Raid Shadow Legends. But I mean, I'd happily take Raid Shadow Legends money. Don't you know it? To be fair, Squidmar's Raid Shadow Legends video was hilarious, because I think he couldn't have been less excited about the game. I've probably just ruined any chance of getting sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends by saying that, but I think it's fine. So yeah, Into the AM is like a clothing brand that basically contacted me and said that they would give me a bunch of free clothes. I have to wear their clothes during the video. They want to check that I've worn them for the whole video. I mean, that's fine. It's kind of the sort of clothes that I would... Raid Shadow Legends play $4,000. Wow, or £4,000, man. Alright, then maybe I should keep my mouth shut and try and get that Raid Shadow Legends. Wow, that's like a holiday for the kids to Disneyland or something, Marius. That's what, yeah, that's insane. I love the smell of burnt or laser cut MDF. These compact paint racks are a must-have for any hobbyist. Designed to sit comfortably on desks of any size, they're perfect for keeping your workspace clean and tidy without encroaching on space. This rack holds 21 Citadel paint pots. Perfect. That's exactly what I need it to hold. Is it worth your soul? I don't know, but I mean, I'm not getting Raid Shadow Legends money, but I would love it if they would pay me £4,000. Yeah, that would be amazing, but that's not happening. Display. Do you know what? I've got space behind me. See above that shelf up there now, guys? I don't know how easy it is for me to point my camera up there. Yeah, not too bad. I got loads of space up there. I want to actually buy some disc plates because I saw some. Because disc plate are always advertising all the time on YouTube these days, aren't they? I saw some really cool disc plates. They have like the old like video game covers. Like I saw a Doom one, but I also saw some really cool Blood Angels ones. I thought I would like the Doom one because I like Doom, but I thought what would probably make the most sense would be to buy make the most sense would be to buy some Blood Angels one and make like a Blood Angel style shrine. But yeah, no, I think disc plates are cool. I don't own any disc plates, but I wouldn't mind having some. I'm maybe getting into the realms where like I have enough subscribers where well, I mean, I guess this first company reached out and offered me a pretty sweet deal, so I'm gonna have a sponsored video next week, hopefully. Dude, I just completely skip all adverts in people's videos anyway. Well, I mean, you're entitled to skip ads if you want to, right? It's just one click to skip the ads, or spin on, or whatever you want to do it. I think I'm 50-50. Sometimes if it's a creator that I like and I'm watching, I'll watch the ads. Sometimes I won't. You know, it just depends. Highland Phoenix is getting a really sweet 25th anniversary Farscape. I was thinking Stargate. That's because the guy from Farscape is in Stargate, isn't he? Robert says he bought a laser cutter and it stinks when you use it. Stinks a little bit. Marius got YouTube Premium recently. Good for you, Marius. I've got so many subscription things with the kids, man. We got like Disney Plus and Netflix and all this, so maybe when we're done paying for Disney Plus, we'll get YouTube Premium. I have to remember how to build one of these things. It doesn't come with any instructions. So yeah, I have to try and remember how the hell this thing goes together. I've got one right there, so surely I could use that. Is it exactly the same? No, it's different. Of course it's different. Alright, so these are center bits. And this is the top bit. Is it? No, this is the middle bit. Is it a sponsor from Table Salt? No. I'm not that salty, am I? Display are expensive. Yeah, I mean, display are expensive. I mean, good quality stuff, though, in this life these days always does seem like it's expensive, doesn't it? I think Into the AM does t-shirts or something. Yes, they do t-shirts, they do flannel shirts, they do other sort of stuff. I think it seems decent. Look at that, Robert's just like, I'll click the link. What a champion you are, Robert. Robert's a great name, by the way. Robert's actually my middle name. And it's my son's middle name as well. It's a very common Scottish name, Robert, in fact. Might need to get a different pot of glue, we'll see. Colin was very upset about the game on... I think he was clutching at straws, Highland Phoenix, wasn't he? Because I honestly don't think that it was that confusing. I think he was just he was clutching. He didn't want the Death Guard to lose against the Blood Angels. That's all it was. And guess what? They did lose. Oh, shit. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do another super glue. This one can probably just go in the bin. There's nothing left. Alright, let me get me another super glue. He was upset that he killed Mortarion. He was super upset, wasn't he? He was like, oh, it's too confusing. It's too confusing. Yeah, what? That you didn't have extra CP? It's fine. I've played Colin enough times. He was on a bit of a winning streak. Someone was going to knock him down a peg. I guess it was me. He wasn't super happy about it. It happens. Right, so if that one goes on there... Then the thin one goes on top, like this. I'm just going to dry fit these things first, to be sure. Yeah. probably, if I don't dry fit them, they'll they won't stick, or they won't go in. Oh yeah, this super glue's got way more left. Okay. Good. So once I've stuck this thing together, I'm gonna go and I think I'm gonna go and put the transfers on those heavy intercessors. I think that's my next job. Super Afro Chris says, just played a game, had my death company hid in buildings, no windows. The other guy towed his Redeemer gun into the building and said he can shoot. Does that sound right to you guys? It sounds right if he has clear line of sight to your guys. If he's towing them in... let me get this right. If he's towing them in on the other side of the wall, but he doesn't have any like... I was going to say, do I have a ruin here? I'll make you a ruin in front of me. If this is the ruin... If this is a ruin and all your guys are in here, and he's towing in, touching on this side, and he says he can shoot you, then no. If he was towing in down here, and he's like just got his guns just inside, then I think he's good, right? Am I considering infiltrators? No, I'm the heavy intercessors, man. Infiltrators are fine, right? Infiltrators are arguably good, I suppose. The problem you have with infiltrators is like, well, I mean, like, depends on what you're playing against. Like that Death Guard list with 3 Plague Burst Crawlers. I mean, he's just going to kill your infiltrators in one turn. All 3 Plague Burst Crawlers are going to target the infiltrators. They're dead. Then, how does that help you? If the vehicle is partially inside the building, the rules say you can see it. However, just tagging the edge of the terrain footprint on the opposite side of the wall is probably not correct. Yeah, basically, I think Reziel and me are on the same page here. So Afro, if he towed into the building and he has line of sight from where his toe sticking into the building to your guys, then you're screwed. But if he's towing in on like the other side of the wall and he doesn't have line of sight from where his toe's sticking in, then he can't shoot you. That's kind of a... There is different ways to interpret that, but I think me and Rizzy will have it right. You've got to screen all the 3-inch deep strike stuff. I mean... Yes, infiltrators will let you screen 3-inch deep strike stuff. But is there enough 3-inch deep strike stuff that's a problem, I guess, is my question. What 3-inch deep strike stuff are you expecting? Like, I don't really see that. I occasionally see demons doing deep strike stuff shenanigans. Crons are the new hotness at doing it. Man, Crons are the hotness at doing everything right now, aren't they? What have Tau got for 3-inch deep strike? Or what have Tau got now? Unless it, like... What happened with Tau? Like, the rules leaked, like, what, yesterday or something? It's getting a bit silly that every single new Games Workshop release is leaked as well, isn't it? Like, everything is leaked. Who's doing all this leaking is my question. I'm really trying not to get my hands covered in super glue doing this. I friggin' hate getting super glue on my fingers. was going to say, as soon as I say that, I'm going to get super glue on my fingers, aren't I? Yeah, this thing's pretty good for how quick you can put it together, honestly. It's like a 5-minute paint rack setup, isn't it? It's that, you think it's the China print shop that's releasing it. Any Tau suits can... I don't know, my thought right now with my list is to use heavy intercessors to hold the backfield objective, and then to use the 2 predator tanks to try and screen the flanks a little bit. And I know not many people are using predator tanks to screen. Probably no one's using it except me. But I like to do my own thing. I've always said that. So yeah, I'm trying to screen with some predator tanks. And it's been working okay because I've won 6 games in a row now. Won the Sons of Sanguinius detachment, and I've been playing against multiple lists that have good indirect fire. And I suppose that's the one thing that heavy intercessors have one of the reasons I guess I prefer them to infiltrators is they're pretty good against heavy indirect fire. So I guess like infiltrators I don't think are particularly durable against indirect fire in any way, shape or form, I guess. Feel no pain is fine, but it's not, I don't know if I feel like it's a meaningful feel no pain. It's a feel no pain against 6-up feel no pain is usually a bit underwhelming when you break it down, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I'll probably go to an event, and I'll probably go to the event and be like, my god, I wish I had infiltrators. But I mean, I've gone to plenty of events with infiltrators where I've been like, man, these infiltrators did nothing for me. So, and then even if you do take infiltrators, they're only going to stop them. They're only going to stop them in one position. They're not going to stop them all the way across the board. So you stop them in one position, they're just going to use their nasty deep strike elsewhere. At that point, they're probably then going to use that nasty deep strike to kill something more valuable than your backfield stuff. I don't know, they're going to go after your death company. They're going to go after something else. So, I guess the real question is, if you use infiltrators to stop them going into your backfield, then where else, you know, what else are they going to be hitting instead of your backfield then at that point? So if they're hitting something else that's arguably more valuable or better, you could have just you could create the same problem for yourself, right? Super glue in your hair is the worst. Why the hell are you putting super glue in your hair? What the hell? Assuming you do lose anytime soon, what changes are you considering the next time you're looking and doing so? That's a good question, Mike, because I always say that when you're winning, you don't really evaluate your list properly, do you? You just sort of pat when you're winning a lot of games in a row, you just pat yourself on the back, go, I win a lot of games in a row. I don't really come home and look at my list objectively. I just know I win a lot of games in a row, right? And it always happens, to me anyway. Like, every time I win, I just come home and put my models back on the shelf and go to myself, oh yeah, I won again, great. But when I lose, I actually go home and sit and think about my army list and go like, man, why did I lose that game? What did I do wrong? So it's always good to lose, because you learn when you lose. You don't learn shit when you win. Especially if you're going to a tournament. You don't want to be winning every game before you go to the tournament, because then you won't learn anything. It's such a tough question, Mike, because I don't really know what I'm changing at all with my list. I know I've been winning a lot. I like my Land Raiders. I think they're good. I like the Predator Annihilator. I think it's good as well. I mean, I know not Annihilator, sorry, Destructor. I know very few people are running a Destructor. That isn't going to dissuade me for running it. I still think the destructor is very good. I'm kind of getting super glue everywhere here and not getting this thing to... I did dry fit it. Of course I dry fitted it and it fitted fine. Oh, there we go, we're almost there. I think the Land Raiders are also pretty useful. You need durability. I feel like Blood Angels don't... I mean, like, when I went to the tournament before, I had Gravis Marines, right? And Gravis Marines do give durability. Because I don't have as much Gravis, I guess that's why I've got Land Raiders now, and they're giving me durability. So I feel like I need durability, and I think the Land Raiders provide durability. The Predators are good at killing 3-wound models. Hey, that wasn't so bad, look. I did get a little bit of super glue in my hand, but it's not the end of the world. I can live with that. We need to leave that to dry, but that's as good as... We've got one... Here, what is it they say? Here's one I built earlier. There we go. Slightly different design. This one's got holes in the side of it. This one doesn't. I don't know why, but okay. A slightly different design. Cool. So I like running 15 Death Company. I think that's good as well. I like running chaplains with the Death Company. I think that's good. I like the Blade Guard with the Judiciar. I think it's really good. The Assault Centurions I wasn't sure about. But I've been used them a few times now. You know, like with the Assault Centurions, there was only 2 Centurions alive. And they did 15 wounds to Mortarion. Sorry, they did 15 damage to Mortarion. Yeah, it wasn't 15 wounds, it was 15 damage. In 1 turn of combat. So the Centurions are good as well. The Scouts are obviously useful for screening and stuff like that, and point scoring. I'm trying to think what else is in the list. The Scouts, the Death Company, the Centurions, the 2 Land Raiders, the 2 Predators, the Heavy Intercessors which sit in the backfield, they're durable. The Calidus Assassin, she's good as well. Like, I don't know what I'm flipping out in that list. It's a different list than like anyone else that plays Blood Angels runs, but I'm allowed to say I really like it, I guess, right? I do like it. Sorry, I was just building a quick paint rack because I finally cleaned out all the crap behind me, so I've got loads of room in my room for once. So I was building that real quick while I was waiting for some paint to dry. If you haven't bought one of these before, that was like $8 or something. Honestly, built that. Oh, it's Colorforge. Oh, okay. Colorforge are a good company. I like them. I actually just bought one of the red sprays because I should have probably sprayed it today. I forgot all about it. I need to spray my new Land Raider Redeemer sponsons that I bought from eBay or bought from Etsy. Super Afro Chris says, I want to play more Death Company with the jump packs but fill it a bit of glass cannon. How's the best way to use them? Well, the best way to use them is attach 10 of them to Lamartes. That makes them as survivable as they possibly can be by giving them -1 damage, right? So definitely attach 10 of them to Lamartes. That's like 100%. You have to do that. You don't have a choice. And then potentially consider starting them off the board and rapid ingressing them. Or if you're running like a second squad, start the second squad off the board and rapid ingress them. I would say that in most matchups, the Death Company with Lamartis can start on the board because the -1 damage, unless maybe I was pretty scared to start them on the board against Death Guard though, but that's just because Death Guard's Mortarion rules are a little bit difficult to deal with. So yeah, Mike, I don't know what I would switch out. I really don't know what I would or what I could switch out to make that list better. I don't really want to drop the 2 Land Raiders. I know that nobody else is probably running 2 Land Raiders. I like it. I don't really want to bring back drop the Blade Guard. I don't want to drop the Centurions. I don't want to drop the Heavy Intercessors. I don't want to drop, like, I like that list. I need to lose with it though, right? So that I can see some of its weaknesses. Like I agree. I need somebody to beat me with it. I think that I was gonna say, would Knights be a problem? Probably. Chaos Knight. The thing is, Chaos Knights are always difficult for Blood Angels though. Like -5 on their weaponry is just borderline of yeah, I know as well that there was that guy that did the 7 Death Company squads, including 2 Death Company Dreadnoughts. I'm just not sure I love... Death Company Dreadnoughts are a weird one, right? I get they can be really good, but they can also be can also be difficult to get where they need to be, because you really rely on your opponent to have not screened well to get the most out of Death Company Dreadnoughts. It's a bit like the Librarian of Dreadnought. It's a difficult unit to run effectively in every game matchup. What am I needing? The transfers, that's what I need. Alright, I got some micro set. I got my transfers. I'm going to go with some transfers on these guys. Probably just set a bunch of them. I've had a chance to use the Warhammer World transfers I sent over. I haven't used them yet, but I do have some Warhammer World transfers here, Marius. Like, because I have an old Warhammer World, you know, like well, I guess when it was called Forge World, I've got like a Forge World transfer sheet. So, I haven't done, since you sent me those transfers, I haven't done, this is the first squad that I'm going to be transferring. I've been so slow to get stuff done. Don't forget you microsol first. Are you messing with me, Mike? Because it literally says brush microset onto the model where the decal is to be applied. You're messing with me, Mike. I always get this wrong. I have a Campbell. Do you not remember my custom Bobby G model? Roboto Gillinaut was my Bobby G model. He was so good at the end of 9th edition. He might make a return in 10th edition. Oh well, do you know what I'm going to be painting a Land Raider very soon, so maybe I'll use those ones. That's a great idea, actually. I hadn't thought of that. Now, I'm gonna do this. I need my tweezers. Where on the F are my tweezers? James says microset first. Thanks, James. There's the microset. because everything got moved in this room, I literally have no idea where my maybe I know where my tweezers are. One sec. Oh, look, everything is tidy for once. I can find things again. Here we go. Tweezers. Good. Good. Alright, let's start with the sergeant. He's going to get a yellow transfer shoulder pad. Or he's not the sergeant, is he? He's the guy with the heavy bolter. What's this? One of these. I appear to have lost one transfer already. Oh no, it's hiding under there. Okay. We're good. I did cut these transfers off on the stream last week, so let's do all the Blood Angel symbols first. Start with the big transfers, nice and easy, huh? Forge World don't give transfers. They do give a custom transfer sheet you can buy for about $20, and that's where those little 9 Legion ones. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera right now. Maybe if I bring the camera in, that's where those little ones came from. I'm going to put them on the knee pads. And I know I always talk about my models being battle ready, but sometimes I will actually just paint over the transfers as well. So like I'll use the transfers almost like a stencil. Especially, see, like these old ones. This is a super old company transfer. This transfer is probably close to 30 years old. So when you put it on the model, it probably will not be totally solid. Like it'll be opaque, probably. It'll probably be a nightmare to get off this transfer sheet as well, to be honest. So sometimes when I put these guys on, or put these super old transfers on, I'll maybe even paint over the top of them, just to make sure it looks good. Alright, we're going to start with micro set. When my room is a mess, I know where everything is. When it's tidy, it is good as lost. Well, I'm going to endeavour to keep this room somewhat tidy, Mike. No, I've lost one of my lights right now, so let me move this light over here. So we can get a bit more light. Might even bring back my magnifying glass, yeah. You keep saying opaque when you mean transparent. Probably. English was not my English is not my specialist subject. I think there's a bit of fluff or something on this transfer. What is that? Fluff or a bit of something. Here we go. Straight? Doesn't feel straight. I'm gonna have to silence my phone, sorry about that. Someone's do I know any Gaelic? No. Literally nothing. In Scotland we have a language called Doric. I know some Doric. I understand more Doric than I speak, but I don't know Gaelic. Yeah, see, this was going to be the sergeant, so I was going to try and put a red blood drop on his golden shoulder. I think that red blood drop is going to be a nightmare to get off that transfer sheet because it's been on there for 30 years. So we'll keep wetting that one. We'll keep trying. Right, and then these ones will go on the other shoulder. Is Doric close to English? No. Marius, you speak Doric at all? It's not really a language. It isn't. But no, it's very like slang, Scottish. Hard to explain. They cut syllables all the time, and they abbreviate every single word. One of the phrases that I always remember from Doric is, I'll say it at full speed and then I'll say it slower and explain it. Is people would say something like, "Are you getting him for a week?" And "Are you getting him for a week" means, are you going home for the week? Are you getting him for a week? And like every like week is it's just like words. They just remove syllables to make them quicker to say or lazier to say, and they got lots of ones like that. And there's a whole community. If you go far enough north in Scotland, everyone will speak to you in Doric. If you only speak English, you won't understand any of it. I built an Inferno squad this afternoon, just 5-man from the combat patrol. Are you finding much use for the Inferno squad, James, in competitive play or in your games? Like, how are you using the Inferno squad? Because I wasn't really sure about them, honestly. I didn't realise Doric was its own thing. Yeah, there's various dialogues of Doric. I think it's worse, Cambo, in like fishing villages, because a lot of those like fishing villages full of people that do like that sort of slang speak or whatever you would call it. I don't know if it's as popular as it once was though. I don't know if it's dying, but it definitely doesn't feel like it's as popular as it once was. Can't believe we're finally at the point of giving these heavy intercessors their transfers. Thank God. These guys have taken... How long I've been working on these guys has almost become a meme, I think. I've dived around a lot of different units though in 10th edition. Haven't quite... for the longest time I couldn't figure out really what was good in 10th edition. And, oh, it's moving! The super old transfer is moving. Let's get it on while we can. Do heavy intercessors get sticky objectives? No, they get... while they're in range of an objective marker, they get +1 to their save against 1 damage weapons. which is actually really, really nice. So basically it means that when they're on an objective marker, and basically only one guy needs to be touching said objective marker. So if one guy has his toe on the objective marker, then the whole squad gets basically a 2-up save. So if you wanted to, with heavy intercessors, you could play Armor of Contempt on them. And if they're in cover, you can basically ignore AP3, right? Because you would get, against 1 damage weaponry anyway. Ah, it just broke in half. I knew that was... Stupid old transfers. I'm going to have to cut another one out. God damn it. There's not much you can do about the 20-year-old transfers. Sometimes. Like that one just snapped right in half. Okay. Come back to that. Nightmare. Yeah, I was starting to think it's Heavy Intercessor Saturday. Like every week I'm just... Oh, Mike, were you streaming tonight? Just dropped off all your viewers from Twitch. Thanks, Mike. Do you know what? I've got more of them. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm gonna run out at some point of the old red transfers. I'm gonna be really sad when I do because I'm not buying for. I think the Forge World transfer sheet does have some of those red ones on it. But it's like a tiny amount, like you're maybe getting 5 or something. I'm not paying $20 for 5 red transfers. It's insanity, right? It's funny. I think I forgot to cut out one of the yellow ones I need as well anyway, because the sergeant wouldn't have a shoulder pad one, so I need to cut out another one anyway. Oh, in fairness, don't get sticky objective. Datasheet says they forced a battle shot test, so they're about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Yeah, I mean, that's why I think Dante's kind of so underwhelming. It's like Dante forces battle shock. Cool. I can't... No one really does counter-offensive. Like, in 10th edition it happens so infrequently. Like, counter-offensive used to happen all the time in 9th edition. Happens once every 10 games in 10th edition, it feels like. So you never... Dante's never going to prevent a counter-offensive. Very rarely does it feel like enemies use stratagems to attack. I'm trying to think the last time an enemy unit used a stratagem on my Blood Angels in melee combat. Like, I can't even remember. So, like, what... Apart from maybe Dante doing a... Yeah, I actually don't know what Dante's doing. Like... Close Combat Terminators have the same rule as Dante, right? Close Combat Terminators have that rule where it's like... Not that they force battle shock. Yeah, I think they do actually make you take a battle shock test after they charge you. But to what end? When does it come into play? When is it strong? Like I just don't see it. Once I've got these transfer guys, I'm probably gonna head because just getting on past 11. I've been live quite. I've almost been live 2 hours. Okay, yeah, I'm. Probably like another 20 minutes, half an hour, I'm probably going to head to bed. Assault Terminators got shafted. Yeah, they did, James. They certainly did. I don't know why they got shafted so hard. I don't know how you're really supposed to use Assault Terminators to get the most out of them, honestly. Dante plus the Sanguinary Priest plus 10 Assault Intercessors get 12. They get... Well, yeah, you say they can get 12 mortals on the charge. They do 6 mortals, realistically. But I think if you actually break it down, Death Company will do more damage than the 10 Assault Terminator, than the 10 Jump Infiltrators, right? Or Jump Intercessors. Because the maximum damage 10 of those guys can do with their 5 chainsword attacks is 50. Plus, let's just say for argument's sake they manage to do all 10 mortal wounds, which I think is unlikely, right? They're more likely going to do 5. But for argument's sake, the maximum damage that 10 jump intercessors can do is 60, right? Because you get 50 chainsword attacks that do 1 damage, and then you get the 10 mortals. So the most damage those guys will do is 60. Whereas 10 Death Company get 4 attacks, but they're 2 damage each, so the most damage they can do is 80. So 80 damage versus 60 damage. I guess the 60 might be a little bit cheaper, but the other issue, I suppose, is Death Company will be more survivable. Death Company are hitting with much higher strength, like your strength 10 versus strength 6. So 80 damage coming out at strength 6. Sorry, it's strength 10 or 80 damage, 60 damage coming out at strength 6. I feel like I don't hate the jump intercessors. I bought 5 of them. I just don't see myself running them in bigger squads than 5, because I think if I was going to run a 10-man jump unit, I'd just run Death Company. But hey, it's personal opinion, I guess. I mean, sure. Oh right, sorry Chris, I missed the fact that you get 1 whole power fist. That's the thing with Primaris, and that's the worrying thing for the future, is like if they just I'm sorry, I can't get excited about like 1 melee weapon. And sometimes you're not even allowed that these days, right? Because like because Sternguard, for example, they don't even get a melee weapon anymore. Ordo Mantor says, John, what's the best unit in your current list? I just got Judiciar. I'm thinking of running with a Blade Guard next match. I'm not sure if the Blade Guard plus the Judiciar is my best unit. But I can tell you right now, I friggin' love that unit, and I'm running it every game with great effect. So with Judiciar plus 6 Blade Guard, you could do a lot worse than that. I think that's a great unit. I think the Judiciar, personally, I think that's the right choice of character to attach to the Blade Guard. I think the Fight First has so much strength in it. So do it, is my opinion. Yeah, do it for sure. I think it's good. I run it every game at the moment. I put them inside a Land Raider, which I think helps loads as well. I do think Blade Guard benefit a lot from a transport. So if you've not got them in a transport, I guess you've got that conundrum to deal with. You could put them in a repulsor. I think they're better in a Land Raider, so. Do you have a video on how I paint red? I've been wanting to make it for a while, honestly. D-blow locks. I use Evil Sun Scarlet. I use Agrax Earthshade. I don't use any edge highlighting, so I'm lazy like that. So basically, I undercoat with Mephiston Red. I then layer a couple of coats of Evil Sun Scarlet. I then recess wash the entire model, like all the joints, everything, with Agrax Earthshade. And then I just highlight everything back up to the base of... So really all my models is Evil Sun Scarlet with a pin wash of Agrax Earthshade. That's really all they are. Sternguard can take a melee weapon. You're smoking... They can't take a melee weapon. Not in 10th edition they can't. You're more than welcome, dude. Paul says, thanks to the videos, learning loads on getting most from my Blood Angels. The math is really helpful. I play Necrons and just getting into Blood Angels. Your current list online anywhere? Yeah, I mean, just look at the weekly... go into the YouTube channel, click on the playlist, which is like the Wednesday night playlist for the weekly battle reports, Paul. And I put my list, I've run the same list the last 3 weeks in a row. So my list is on there in the comment section for the video, right? It'll be pinned at the top. It's like a paste bin link, excuse me. So the list that I'm running is the same list for the last 3 battle reports. And it's the list that I've actually got in the Tabletop Tactics Open League. So I'm recording all my games in the Open League. So if you want, you can check it in the Open League as well. What's the plan for the Blade Guard? Well, I mean, the plan for the Blade Guard is keep them inside the Land Raider until I feel like the Land Raider is going to die, which is usually going to be like turn 2 probably, and then sit in the middle objective and be very, very difficult for the enemy to charge because the Blade Guard will fight first. Unless there is a good charge target. And remember, the Land Raider can... I have the mine inside the Redeemer, so the Land Raider can move 12 inches. Then they can disembark 3, so they're basically 15 inches forward. And then you can make a charge. So... I mean, almost the same thing goes, Chris, in that, like, that's basically the same tactic I've run now on the live battles for 3 or 4 weeks, as the Land Raider Redeemer gets to the center board with 6 Blade Guard and Judiciar. And against the Grey Knights, I think I honestly put my Blade Guard out of the Land Raider in like turn 1, because he did like 10 mortals, 12 mortals to it with his brother librarians in turn 1, so I kind of had to disembark them earlier than I would have liked because there's just so many mortal wounds. You're not worried about them getting shot off the board? No, I'll try and put them in. There's usually cover near the middle objective. Try and get them obscured if I can and still hold the middle. Worst case, get them in cover, hold the middle. They're 3 wounds a model, they got a 4-up invuln save. Against the Grey Knights game, I think I did lose all of them, the whole squad and the Judiciar, by the end of turn 3. But what it did mean was I held the middle for turn 1, 2, and 3 and pulled up a great lead of holding the middle, and his Terminators struggled to... Well, his Terminators didn't take the middle from the Blade Guard, so it was like... Yeah, the Blade Guard died possibly at the bottom of turn 3, but they'd been there in the middle holding it for 3 turns basically, which got me like a 20-point lead. So these are going to be tricky little transfers, aren't they? These ones are tiny. These are going on the knee, hopefully. They're actually they're bigger than I thought they might be, actually. Hopefully they're going to wrap onto the knee okay. None of them seem to want to move off this paper yet, though. Sometimes that happens. Got overexcited. This one's moving, okay. Yeah, he's rolling. See, these are so small that this is the time that probably I would end up painting around some of these. They're actually quite difficult to see, and this one is stuck and not rotating for me. Trick with the transfers is to not get frustrated, I guess. There we go, look at that. That'll be pretty unique. Don't know how well the camera is going to pick that up. Quite hard to center that actually, like just centering it from like eyeballing it. Are these my blood brothers? They can be, why not? I'm using 6 with the Judiciar, but I'm cutting the Judiciar and maybe using the Impulsor. But you not got a Land Raider, Rizio? I thought that you would have a Land Raider in your list for sure. Like friggin' tier S, man. Land Raider Redeemer, tier S. You're all about tier lists. Sketch, yes, it was a nice win against the Death Guard on Wednesday night. I think my Death Guard opponent was very upset Mortarion died, right? You're not playing the Redeemer in the Sons of Sanguinius? Fair enough. I think it's good in Sons of Sanguinius, actually. I mean, Sons of Sanguinius need something durable in their list. God knows it's not Toughness 4 Marines. Where the hell did I just put my tweezers? There we go. I'm going to have to let those ones set and then hit them with like multiple coats of Microsol to get it to bend round the knee nicely, but I'm happy to do that. I think it'll look good. Yeah, I think 10th edition has lost something from having the fixed points costs, because you've certainly got units that are not good in 10th because of fixed points costs. I think we touched on it earlier about the bolter inceptors. You know, inceptors were great before. Bolter inceptors were good because bolter inceptors should be a lot cheaper than plasma inceptors. They do a completely different thing from plasma inceptors. They have a lot less damage. They kill infantry rather than killing elites and stuff. But it's like bolter inceptors are like, I don't want to say they're frozen out. You can probably still make bolter inceptors work in some lists, but they're a hell of a lot weaker than plasma inceptors now, considering you're basically paying the points for plasma inceptors. I think there's a few other units that are probably in that boat as well, right? Right, so I need to do his knee pad. I need to do his knee pad and then his shoulder pads. His knee pad's going to be a little bit tricky because he's got this cable right next to it. Ordo's deeply attached to his Terminators. You know what, I must admit, I haven't played the Terminator since their since their Thunderhammers became Strength 10, which I guess would be nice, but I don't know if those Assault Terminators needed the -1 to hit on their Thunderhammers. I feel like they probably don't have enough attacks to justify the -1 to hit. I suppose that's probably why everybody that's playing Death Company has moved to Power Fists, because It's really hard to justify that mine. Not everybody's moved, but a huge portion of people have moved. It's really hard to justify that -1 to hit from the Thunderhammers, honestly. You know, I thought these knee pads would be a lot more fiddly than they were. Hopefully once they actually get a couple of coats of microsol, they look pretty good. Otherwise, maybe in the next squad of heavy intercessors I do, I'll just go back to like skull knee pads or something. Interceptors' deep strike ability makes them very strong, like very, very, very strong. The fact that they can't really be screened except like specific anti-infiltrate stuff. So yeah, I mean, Inceptors are very, very strong for the cost. It's hard to say that they're not. But I do think the bolter ones could probably be a little bit cheaper. I feel like at 130 I'm not running the bolter ones. I did run bolter ones to a tournament at 110. I think 130 is probably a step too far for bolters. I mean, heavy bolters aren't typically a damaging unit like they once were, I guess, for a heavy bolter, right? Alright, cool. Oh, I got a lot done tonight. I built that paint rack. Oh, I still got 2 more transfers to put on this guy. So I need to get 2 transfers for his shoulders. I think I need a standard blood drop. And then I need a yell. Oh no, I need something for his other shoulder. Okay. Evening, Kratos. How you doing? Do you think this would be this thing will be solid by now, right? Seems that way. Some pizza. The bigger ones at the back. Texture paint or whatever. Yes, those 2, yeah. Yeah, that's precise. 2 of these is precisely how many paints. So I must use 42 paints to paint my Blood Angels. There we go. Right, transfers. I saw some earlier today. Where the hell did I put them? Oh. Bolter eliminators are in the same boat. Not many people run bolter sniper rifles at the moment, do they? I don't really see them. Use that one. And then maybe just need to find a yellow one for the other shoulder. Oh no, this guy's got... That was the red one I needed for this guy, wasn't it? I did? Oh, then, they're here. Oh, yucky ultramarines transfers. No one wants those. They still give you... I haven't bought any of the new models for a little while. They still give you an ultramarines transfer kit in every set. Evening, Carl. Really liked the tactics video this week. Thanks, Carl, man. Always like hearing positive comments about the different videos. Ooh. I only said that because I knew you were in the room, Marius. How are you getting on? If you need ultramarine transfer sheets, tell me. I'll send you some. I could hook you up. Stuff like 100 of them. Yeah, see. I think I've used those on a bunch of shoulders. I think I've used these number 9s as well on a bunch of shoulders. There's a lot of very like, I don't know anyone that really uses these ones. There's teeny red blood drops. Maybe a bigger red blood drop. Oh, that's interesting. What transfer sheet is this? Is this Oh, this is the... This must be the Leviathan transfer sheet, is it? Is this the Leviathan transfer sheet, guys? I don't know if I've ever seen this one here before. Which is like the outline of the Blood Angel without a colour inside it. Is that what it is? Or is it white inside that? It looks like it's just the outline, honestly. Huh, I'm gonna try that one. I've never tried that transfer before. Am I? It's not Leviathan, it's a revamped one for infantry and vehicles. Where the hell did I get it then? If I didn't get it in Leviathan. So what I'm going to do is, I've used microset on all these transfers, so I'll let that dry tonight, because these will take a little while to dry. Then tomorrow I'll probably hit them with like a coat of microsol in the morning, I'll hit them with a coat of microsol in the afternoon. After I've hit them with the 2 coats of microsol, I'll probably I'll probably put a coat of whatever it's called, lamium medium over them. I don't know what sheet this is. I don't know where I got it, Reziel. I have no idea where I got this sheet. It's got some ones that I've never seen before, really, though. Like little halos on the... Yeah. Why did I drop the Librarian Dreadnought? I'm going to do a video on that. He cost me a tournament. He cost me a top 3 at a GT, Ordo. That's why I dropped him. I still think he's awesome. He just cost me a really important game, I guess. Right. Yeah, so and then I'll hit them with a coat of Lamium medium. And then once I've done all that, it might be a case of like touch up any of the transfers that don't look great. Like I'm convinced this red one won't look good. This is another 20-year-old Space Marine Death Company transfer or something. Oh, it was with Augustus. Yeah, it might have been with Augustus actually. 2023. Was Augustus 2023? Maybe early 2023? Did my gifted membership go through? I don't see a gifted membership, Terrence, but it could be lagging. Augustus was last year, yeah. It must have been probably about this time last year, was it? I still have my my Brutalis Dreadnought from Augustus on the sprue. I'm not even taking it off the sprue yet. Kind of shows how uncompetitive that unit was because it's laid on a sprue for me for like a whole year. If a unit's competitive, I get it built and sprayed sort of within the week. It's not competitive, it's much slower. I need to move that camera a tiny bit. There we go. The rumour mill says that the Blood Angels box may include a Brutalis. Yeah, I don't know why. Unless they're doing a Brutalis Death Company Dreadnought, because I feel like no one's running Brutalises. I think I've run the Brutalis one time. I proxied it and was like, yeah, okay, average at best. Come on, baby, you want to move off this transfer sheet. You know you want to move, come on. I know you've been on that transfer sheet since... Let me see if there was a year on that transfer sheet. The year was... 1994. It's been on this sheet for 30 years. It's mind-boggling when I find some of these old transfers. 30 years. Come on, baby. You want to come off the transfer sheet, and this time you don't want to break in half. Please. Please. We'll wait. You've been on there 30 years. We can wait 5 more minutes. Come on. Come off the transfer sheet, piece of shit. You remember that scene in Happy Gilmore where he's like, "Are you too good for your home?" Come on, transfer. It's time for you to go home. Are you too good for your home? I'd actually forgot Carl Weathers was in that movie. What a champion. Come on. Come on. How much water will it take? You want to move. It's like the power of Christ compels you. Come on. Nope, we'll live it a minute more. 30 years. So probably there's somebody in chat that's younger than this transfer. This transfer has been on this bit of paper waiting for longer than you've been born to finally get put on a model. That is how slow the Blood Angels commander is at painting models. Do I get a Guinness World Record for the longest time between transfer being put on paper and being put onto a model? It's gonna work. It's gonna come. I promise you, it's gonna come. Come on, we'll even wet the back side of the transfer sheet. Come on, baby. There we go, Terrence. Here's a gifted membership. I guess it was lagging. Thank you so much, Terrence. Did you guys hear the sound effect when the gifted? Oh, there it is. It didn't come through straight away. Okay. But as I say, I lost all my OBS settings, so I got to set everything back up. Rogue Trader Urza. Just started playing again with the release of the Dark Angel stuff. I haven't played since 5th. Hellbasters and Scepters have been pretty neat. Welcome back, dude. A lot of people took a break from 40k. I had a big break for like 6 years. Oh no, look, this one did it just break? Oh, no. Oh, we waited so long for that transfer. And it just, ugh. Oh. What do you think of 2 squads of 6-Blade Guard and a Judiciar? The fact you can fit 2 squads of 6 inside a Land Raider Redeemer with a Judiciar is actually really tempting. I feel like that's really tempting. Alright, we're gonna go into 3rd time's a charm. Come on. What's even more disappointing was that we waited all that time. It's probably only 5 minutes, it felt like longer. Alright, 3rd time is definitely going to be the charm. Look at this. The first one broke when it was coming off the pad. The second one broke when it was... Maybe I put too much water on that second one. Maybe I was being too impatient. I'm going to have to find a third-party vendor that sells these. Because I usually do the gold shoulder and then do the red one. I'm gonna not attack it with so much water this time and just give it a minute. You're gonna take Ravenwing to tournament in the next few months, but good luck with that, man. So what land speeders have Ravenwing still got access to? I mean, the regular land speeders are all gone. Did any of the Ravenwing land speeders survive the cull? Fraser says Sanguinius will return before this transfer moves. You might not. You might be right. You might be right. Rexer says Sons of Sanguinius, 1955 points, 3 chaplains, 1 jump chaplain, Infernal. Oh, 1 jump chaplain with an Infernal, 1 combi lieutenant, 3 times 10 death company, Infernal pistols, 1 times 10 jump intercessor, Infernal pistols and fists, or jump death company, Infernal pistols, fits inside 3 land raiders. So I run 2 Land Raiders at the moment. Thank you so much for the 5 USD, by the way, Rexer. And I'm worried a little bit about 3 Land Raiders, because I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about 3 Land Raiders. But like, well, Land Raiders are good. They are very expensive, and they are. I don't think. I think saying Land Raider is very survivable is a lie. I would say it's somewhat survivable. But I wouldn't say it was very survivable.
Rexa2 donated $5 via Super Chat. So's at 1995 PTS. 3 chaplains, 1 jump chaplain, Inferno. 1 combi lieutenant 3x10 Death Company, Infernos plus fists. 1x10 jump D.
Yeah, so you're going to put 10 Death Company Marines plus Infernals and Fists into each of the Land Raiders. They're all going to be led by a chaplain. You're then going to have 1 jump chaplain and 10. The thing about having 1 jump chaplain and 10 is, if you're running 10 Death Company with jump packs, you should really try and fit in Lamartes, because Lamartes is amazing. It's arguably the best thing that they have going for them. Thanks, Rachel. It's nice to see you. Have a good evening. The second I get this last transfer on, I'm going to bed. By the way, guys. So if this transfer will go on. Oh, it moved. Oh, the top is moving. I have to be super gentle with this. Come on. No, it broke as well. Oh. Right, that transfer sheet is. I don't think any. We tried 3 off that transfer sheet. I gotta try another transfer sheet. That one is too old, I guess. 25 years is too old. God damn it. God damn it. Alright, look. We get another one. This one is apparently also 25 years old, but it does look like, for some reason, this one seems like it's in better condition. I don't know why it would be in better condition, because they would probably have been stored in the same box. But it looks like it's in better condition. Alright, fourth try. Doesn't look like it's in better condition. I'm not sure why. Try rubbing alcohol. I don't have any rubbing alcohol in. I don't think, anyway. I'm convinced this one's gonna work. Come on. Those last ones must have just been really brittle for some reason. I don't know why. Right. I mean, this tissue paper has all the other transfers on it, so it's pretty much. I mean, it's swimming in water there. They better revamp Lamartis. I don't care if it. I think they are going to revamp Lamartis. One of the rumors said that there's going to be a new Lamartis. Do you know what? Sometimes when I stick these old red ones over onto the model, James, I actually paint over the top of them anyway. So I possibly could freehand it. I just find it's easier to paint over the top of the model. I'm currently using Devastators with a Razorback for reroll everythings. Yeah, I mean, I haven't found Devastators. I think Devastators lost a lot of their strength when the multi-metal nerf happened. Turn said he would be sad if Lamartis loses -1 damage. I don't think he's necessarily going to lose his -1 damage. Right, the bottom of it is off. It's not breaking. Let's just see if the top will come off now. Come on, please. Please, I don't want to have to do another one. There we go. It's off. It's off! The 30-year transfer is off. Let's get it on before it decides to stick back to its home. Come on, are you too good for your home transfer? Here we go. Come on. Getting it on it is one thing. Getting it to not rip while I move it to the middle is another thing. Come on. You can do it. I might just leave it if it's not perfect because I've already 4 of them have died already on me tonight. It's good. I'm only a battle ready painter anyway. Look at wrong thing. Let's see. How central is it? It's close enough, isn't it? Alright, I'll let all those transfers dry. I'm done. Whoop whoop. They still have las cannons, Devastator squads? Yeah, they do, but is there not better ways you could get las cannon shots on a more because the Devastators are T4, right? So like, I mean, I run a Predator. I've run a few different Predator tanks. I think if I'm gonna have las cannons, I think I'd rather they were on a Predator tank than they were on a Toughness 4 infantry model. Marius, thank you for hanging around. Nice to see you. Campbell says he'll give it a B+. Thanks, Campbell. You're a man of high standards, are you? I'm so pleased with that paint rack, though. Look at that. My hobby space is actually clean for the first time in probably like years at this point. Things are organized. It's good. Oh, cool. So the heavy intercessors are 99% done now. I'm trying to think what needs done. I guess they need their bases done. A black ring around their bases. A little bit more varnish here and there, but we are super close. Might get them finished tomorrow, we'll see. Guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. It's been nice to hang out with you all. I hope you had some laughs, had some fun. I'm going to be back tomorrow night to do the Army List show. That usually kicks off around 8 PM UK time. If you want to submit your army to the Army List show, basically just put your current Army List into a YouTube comment or into one of my comments and I'll get it and we'll add it to the show. I hope you have a good night. Thanks to... Oh, leave a like on the stream before you go. Would appreciate that. And I think Thursday night this week I might be painting my Land Raider over with Tony. If I am, on the Grots channel, I'll put a community post out talking about that because I do want to make some progress on my Land Raider this week. So I might have a bonus painting stream with Tony from the Three Grots where we work on painting some big vehicles and stuff like that. You're more than welcome. Nice to see you all. Have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow night for the Army show. And that's it. Peace. Thanks for hanging out.